My name is Carrie Nettleton. I am in North Peoria, Arizona, and I've been in the business. I got into it in 1999, and I've been with people since 2010.
So my name is Diane Greenough. I am in central Nebraska, and I've been doing this, I think, about 25 years now. I've been with Peoples a little over 13 years.
I'm Emily Zock, and I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. I have been in the industry, for the finance industry, for 25 years, mortgage for 10, and here for 9 of those.
This is one of my nieces, so I love you with my 2 nieces. They're so much fun. I have 2 boys. I love doing things with them. My youngest, Carter, he is 14. He is in a traveling baseball team, and so we love doing baseball, lots and lots of baseball. My oldest is at ASU, Connor. We do a lot of razor rides, outdoor stuff. We like to, go on boats, anything outdoors we like to do. And as long as it's with the family, it's really lots of fun.
Oh my goodness. I sculpt. I do Native American beadwork. I repair old beaded things, canes, moccasins, vests, things like that. We're outdoors people. We love to go to the mountains. We love to go camping and fishing and hunting, and it's all kinds of things like that. My husband sells Western memorabilia as well, so we travel to some different circuits with old cowboy stuff. And I love to cook and host people at my house. I'm a quilter. I do all kinds of fun things. When I retire, I have a plethora of things to do with my time.
Well, my kids are in sports, so we just go to a lot of basketball games, and yesterday was my stepson's very last basketball game ever because he's a senior in high school. So I don't know.
Well, I was told I had to get a job when I was 16 or 17 years old by my mom, and I ended up finding a job at Century 21. So I started in the real estate side. I got my real estate license right when I turned 18, and then started to work with some of the lenders, and one of them was a mortgage broker, and she asked me to help her out, and I liked the numbers side more than I liked the selling side. So I went full-time loans. So that's all I've done. But I'll thank my mom for forcing me to get a job because my car insurance is too much.
3 boys, my husband and I, and when I had my last one, I decided to stay home. So I was a stay-at-home mom for a while. And when I went back to get back into the world of working, a position was available in the mortgage industry, and I'd had some experience with the credit, so it felt like a good segue into that world, and it really was. It was a great entry into that world, and I was able to reach out to some of the bankers that I'd done the mortgage reports for, and get some referrals from them. That's kind of how I first started, was asking for business from other bankers, asked for their turndowns, asked, because they knew me, and said, hey, if you can't help somebody, give me a shot. Let me see what I can do for them.
My daughter, actually, because we had some medical stuff happen and I needed some flexibility. So I thought, what better to do? Mortgages, because you can do mortgages anywhere. Mm-hmm. And as it turns out, I'm okay at it.
Just to see the impact, because everyone needs a house, we all need a roof, but when it's a home and people that it's not always easy for people, it's much more special when you get to get them into a house or their home and give them the keys and see how meaningful it was for them.
Need to win it. It's like a Rubik's Cube. I got to solve it. And when I'm able to get a family that maybe struggled, other people have said no to it, and I can get them to the closing table, that is so rewarding in and of itself.
For me, my background was in business banking for a long time, and I was always helping male commercial bankers. I was just kind of the person that was their go-to to just set up their things or go to their meetings, but I would sometimes get the client, but it was always, the credit was always given to the commercial banker. And in my experience, many times that was a man. It was a kind of a man's industry. So when I was here, when I got President's Club for the first time, I was really proud. I didn't think I deserved it. It was weird.
You know, I like to see my numbers high on the charts, that's for sure. So going on a hub, but it's getting a little challenging nowadays. I would say being some of those guys was pretty fun.
Yes. Yes. So I work with many agents in my town, and most of them I can say are friends, and it's real. And if I don't hear from them in a while, I check on them, and it really is the relationships with my agents and with the customer.
My proudest achievement was being number one in the company. When I was number one in the company, that was huge.
My mom is a hard worker. She started at Illinois Bell, you know, in the 70s, and they turned into like Quest and CenturyLink and US West, all these things. She retired from them after working with them for almost 40 years and got a pension. And rather than her retiring and living her life, she went for a second pension and worked another 10 years at a school district. Just because she wanted to set herself up financially at retirement. And she's like, I might be old, but I'm not too old to work. And she'd be bored sitting at home. So her work ethics and ambition really have taught me a lot. My sister, her personality and she's so kind-hearted. You know, she plays a big role in when I'm working with clients in the meaningful side of things and trying to be like her. I would say they're pretty big impacts for me.
Okay. Well, so when I was young, my grandma lived with us, and she passed away when I was 15, and she was such a strong, I've had so many strong women in my life. Her and then her oldest daughter, my aunt, were instrumental in my life. They were self-sufficient. They could do anything. They never said no to anybody. They were always there to help people. And that meant a lot to me growing up. And I learned from them how to help, how to achieve, how to conquer things that you didn't think you could do. And then we, I had some great teachers too in school that I remember one, a PE teacher that she treated everybody the same way. I mean, we all had hideous gym outfits. We all had to wear. So no matter what size or shape you wore the same thing, and it was hideous. But everybody was treated exactly the same. And that in the small town that I grew up in, we knew everybody, but nobody was really left out. This was obviously long before social media and all those other things, but it was about relationships even then. So I grew up with really strong female relationship builders in my life.
My mom, because she worked overseas in a war zone for 15 years and never let anything kind of scare her. I mean, that was huge. She had the confidence, and I was blessed to have a dad who had 6 sisters and no brothers. So he was surrounded by women. So he had no choice but to just tell us we could do whatever we wanted to, but he encouraged my mom to do that too. And even though they're not married, I watched her. She inspired me.
You have to value yourself. You have to remember your value. It's hard. People want to undervalue you. So you have to value yourself, and you have to stay ambitious, stay motivated, and just believe in yourself. And that will get you a lot further, because otherwise you'll get walked all over in this industry. I used to say as a woman, you'd get walked all over more so. Women have come up. We're stepped up always. We've shown what we can do now. So it's not the same. Mm-hmm. But everybody, it's just valuing yourself really will make you do well. And then you're more ambitious and you're more motivated. And because it takes a lot. It's a lot. It's draining emotionally, mentally, physically, everything. It can be very draining, very stressful, lots of sleepless nights. So, but to value yourself you can get further?
I really think that honesty, even when it's not what people want to hear, but the honesty is where I think that sets me apart from some of my competitors. Because oftentimes we are in sales, and if you think you're just a salesperson, and you're selling the same old thing, telling people what they want to hear. To me, I start every conversation with everybody's a home buyer. Maybe not today, but I'll help you get there. Everybody's a home buyer. I just had that conversation this morning with a guy it's going to take about a year, but we have a plan and we're going to work on it. Well, other bankers had told him, yeah, I can do this, when they took his application. When he told me his story, I said, yeah, you're a home buyer. I don't know if it's today though. So I think the honesty with your agents and with the clients is huge. And I'm shocked at the number of people that aren't honest with them.
Honesty and transparency and doing things for the right reasons. Sometimes you're not going to get the loan, but if you're chasing a commission and not doing the right thing for the client, even if sometimes you hand them off to someone else, it always comes back to you if you just doing the right thing for people. That's the biggest thing. And then knowing that you're keeping in mind that you're helping somebody with their home. It's not just a job. It affects their lives, and there's people's lives on every side of the transaction. So I think it's important to have the quality to know that.
The morale at People's Mortgage, the relationships, it's a team. Everyone's there, the support.
Well, when I sing at People's is they've given me the ability to do what I do. I mean, nobody's ever said, hey, you got to do it this way or you've got to do it that way. They let me do what I need to do in my own way.
My personal values, we're lucky to work from the top down with people who believe that family is the most important. So that aligns. I mean, Sean has even missed President's Club for senior night, I believe, for one of his kids for sports. I would do the same thing. So just knowing that that is something that is important from ownership down, that aligns with me personally. And then professionally, I mean, this job lets me run my business the way I want to do it. And it's great. It's good for my family life, and it's good for me.
You have to give it your all. It's not one of those things that if you want to be successful, you can't say, well, I'm gonna do it part-time and I'm gonna do this. You have to dive in head first, make connections, make contacts, put yourself out there. It's just believing in yourself and valuing yourself, like I said before, and just go for it. And the more you put into it, the more you get back. So I mean, anyone can do it. It's possible for anybody, but you can't sit on the sideline and think everything's going to come to you. You have to really be ambitious and motivated and, go for it.
If you're not in this industry, it is hard to get started. And I know some younger gals that have gotten into this in the last few years, and it's tough. First, I think you have to know yourself and know the material. If you don't have everything's so fast paced now. If you don't have the answers, if you don't know what you're doing, what you can offer people, and if you don't have people's best interests at heart, if it's only to make a buck, this is probably not the business for you. I always go back to Stan's original mantra was, we're going to do a few deals, make a little money, and have a lot of fun. And if that's what you want to do, then this is a good industry. But you have to be outgoing. You have to know people. You have to. I do a fair amount of business in Nebraska, but it isn't easy. I'm working all the time. You go to the grocery store, you're working. You go to the dentist, you're working. You go to the doctor, you're working. You are always what you do is who you are.
Not to take on too much too fast. I did that. I grew really, really fast. Get up early in the morning and just always grind, and don't let anybody tell you what you can't do, because you can do anything you want to do. it's set a goal and go for it, I think. But always like make yourself important. You know, all my agents know when date night is. That's important. And setting your expectations for people. I think people forget to do that, and they forget about themselves and think everybody else is important, but forget why you don't work to live. Well, no, you work to live, you don't live to work.